We're going right to California now. Wonderful California with Marie, who's calling in with a question about a cough. Hey, Marie, thanks for calling. You are live.
Thanks for taking my call. Well, my husband, Danny, was coughing for about a week ago. And so finally he has a lot of phlegm in his, when he coughs. And he couldn't sleep. He had a shortness of breath. So today I took him to the doctor. So the doctor gave him some codeine to take. And he looked at his record. Because the doctor, his own doctor told him to take, because he has high cholesterol, so they told him to take the Lipitor, and the doctor was shocked. I told him that he's not taking it. So he said, are you taking your risk, not taking the cholesterol? Especially my husband had a heart attack in 1999. So he said, especially if he had a attack, you're taking that risk. So I don't know what to say. Also, I told him that because I talked to Dr. Wallach before, and Dr. Wallach said that don't take the medication, just take the start healthy blood sugar. So my husband has been taking that since beginning of February, but he stopped taking it now because he's sick. He said, I don't want to mix them together. I'm sick. I don't want it to throw up, phlegm, with that. How Tanchi has some little pink come out, so he doesn't want to. He thought it was a blood, so he said, I don't want to take it until I'm getting well. So
okay.
What can I do?
All right, so here's the deal. Wallach's correct. Your medical doctor's wrong. And if any medical professional tells you that there's a relationship between cholesterol and heart disease, you want to hold their feet to the fire and say, show me the research that supports that point of view, because it doesn't exist. From an academic point of view, the research that shows there's no relationship between cholesterol and heart disease is overwhelming. I mean, it is overwhelming. It is a giant myth fabricated by the pharmaceutical industry that there's any relationship whatsoever between high cholesterol and heart disease. It does not exist. It doesn't exist. So any medical professional who tells you to take a statin drug should have their license revoked. They're just not staying current with the literature. They're only listening to the pharmaceutical reps. They're not doing their job. They're not objectively reviewing the research and the literature. They're lazy. They're reckless. They're dangerous, and you should fire them. You should never go back to that medical doctor ever again, and you should write a letter to the Board of Medicine complaining that your doctor scared you into wanting to take a cholesterol drug, even though the evidence, the academic evidence, clearly says that there's no relationship between heart disease and cholesterol, and you want to know why your medical doctor is telling you these things and file a formal complaint. That's what I would do. I doubt very much that anybody's going to do that. But look, it doesn't exist. So fire that particular medical doctor. Never go back to him, because he's an idiot and he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's putting your life in danger, and he's not staying current with the research. He's lazy, bad dog, no biscuit. Now, about the cough, by the way, pick up a copy of my book, because I've got references in the book that specifically tell you about this, and you can buy my book for $10 on Amazon.com. I mean, it's really easy to do it. Just visit the website, click on the little store link, and buy a copy of the book, and then you can give that to your husband and have him read it, and that will perhaps help him to understand our point of view, which is the correct point of view. Now, the cough that your husband has been going all around this country. There's been a nasty spring cold that everybody and their brother has gotten, and nobody's talking about it. Whatever happened to the flu vaccine and how good that was. Well, I'm going to tell you about this when we come back. We're up against a hard break. Stick around, Marie. I'm going to tell you what your husband can do to support and promote his respiratory tract when we come back. We're talking to Marie from California. Marie from California. Her husband's got that nasty chest cold that's going all around the country that nobody in the media is talking about. So, Marie, here's what I have found to be helpful, especially for the nighttime aggravation of this cough. There is a homeopathic medicine, and you can pick up homeopathic medicines in the vitamin aisle of most health food stores. Homeopathic medicines are dispensed in little blue tubes, and they're in a plastic shelf. There's about 30 or 40 different homeopathic medicines arranged alphabetically One tube will cost you about $10. Inside the tube are about 100 little white medicated pellets. And what I have found useful to take the edge off of the nighttime cough in a non-medicative way, because homeopathy works by supporting and promoting something called the law of similars, which is a fantastic thing to do to support and promote the health of your body, to help it get on the other side of whatever it is you're trying to get on the other side of. It really does a great job at helping to support and promote the structure and function of the lungs when you have chest cold. So this particular medicine is called Tosta, and I'll spell that. It's Latin, of course, right? S like Sam, P like Peter, O, N like Nancy, N, I said that, N like Nancy, G-I-A, S-P-O-N-G-I-A. G like Godfrey, I like indigo, A like apple. Spongia. Second word, Tosta, T like Thomas, O, S like Sam, T like Thomas, A. Spongia Tosta. Get in the 200C or the 200 CK strength if you can. If you can't, get it in the 30C strength. Keep it by the nightstand. And give your husband 2 pellets. Pop 2 of the little white medicated pellets in his mouth when he gets into bed. And keep it by the nightstand, and he can take 2 pellets as needed during the night to help settle down the cough. In my experience, for this particular illness that's going around the country, Spongia Tosta is a really excellent homeopathic solution for the nighttime cough that this particular illness seems to be famous for, number 1. Now, number 2, of course, he's spitting up phlegm and mucus. There's some type of infectious game present. So whenever the body is fighting off an infection, it's only prudent to support and promote the function of the immune system. And how do we do that? With the killer biotic. Now, if you're less than 100 pounds, what I recommend is 6 killer biotic a day. If you're between 100 and 200 pounds, what I recommend is 12 killer biotic a day. Forward breakfast, forward lunch, and forward dinner. So have him do 12 killer biotic a day for 5 days. And that should really go a long way towards helping his body to get on the other side of this, because the killer biotic is filled with 4 or 5 different herbs, each of which stimulates the body's ability to kill bugs and increase immune function dramatically. So add the killer biotic into his program. And he also needs to understand that the Beyond Tangy Tangerine is an essential nutrient combination, and when your body is sick, you need more of the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, not less of it. And, when he swallows the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, it's going to go into his stomach, not his lungs. So once he swallows the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, if he coughs anything up, it's not going to be Beyond Tangy Tangerine, because the Beyond Tangy doesn't get into the lungs. It gets into the stomach, so there's no harm and no foul there. I suppose you could make the argument that if there's a little bit of Beyond Tangy Tangerine in the back of the mouth, like if your throat is coated with the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, when you cough stuff up from your lungs, there could be a little red hue to it because of the Beyond Tangy Tangerine in the throat, but really that's a stretch. And if there's blood, if you're coughing up blood, believe me, you're going to know that you're coughing up blood. And there's no way on God's green earth you would be able to mistake that for a little bit of red coloration in the throat from Beyond Tangy Tangerine. So he needs more of the Beyond Tangy, not less of it, because his body is under stress. And what does medical nutrition do? It supports and promotes the function of the body, especially when it's under stress. So, you wouldn't go outside in cold weather in your bathing suit. You'd bundle up. Well, when you're sick, you need more of the nutrients, not less. So my recommendation, put him back on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, kicking and screaming, put him back on it. Give him the killer biotic and try the homeopathic Spongia. The codeine is really kind of a silly solution for this. I wouldn't do it. I would do the Spongia and the killer biotic instead. And another secret to helping the body deal with any type of an infectious disease is to eat more protein. This is why the greatest Jewish antibiotic ever developed was chicken soup. Why? Because chicken soup is an extremely easy to absorb protein, right? Chicken in a soup is half digested. So chicken soup, any type of protein, mixed salted nuts, eggs, scrambled eggs, poached eggs, soft boiled with butter and salt, right? Eggs, fish, chicken, meat, rice and beans together in a meal, all together in one serving is a complete protein. So you want to give your husband protein, and more protein, the killer biotic, the 90 essential nutrients appropriate for his body weight, and try the Spongia Tosta at night before bed. And that is a really good recipe for success. So dial that in for your husband, Marie, and call me back and tell me what happened. And thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for the call and for believing in what we have to say.